Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on Cool FM Live for our Cochise County Sports Show. As always, I'm Dave Davies, the one and only Paul and Pizzy Quarter. Thank you for joining us today. We're here at beautiful, what is soon to be the Sierra Vista Golf Center at Pueblo Del Sol. New management's taking over. Things are going to get bigger and better around Pueblo Del Sol Golf Course.
That's what we hear, and we are so excited for it as regulars of this golf course, Dave. Everything we've heard is going to be an improvement from what we understand. This is also brought to you by Synergy HomeCare of Sierra Vista, providing non-medical in-home care for people that struggle with activities of daily living. If you or a loved one has trouble getting around the house, waking up, going to the bathroom, even showering, give them a call today at 520-685-1035.
So we have arrived. We had a full week of high school man ball. Lots went down last Friday. A ton of stuff to talk about. He does the stats. I go, whoa, that happened? And so let's dive in. Let's start with the game that we were at. Let's start with the Wilcox Cowboys against, what was that, the New York Jets? Who'd they play?
No doubt. We are going to be unveiling a new offensive and defensive player of the week, so stay tuned for that. And I might have put one up there before someone got their stats in, so there might be co-offensive players of the week. But, yeah, let's go ahead and start with the Wilcox Cowboys. And Landon Ward, the Warden, senior, 12 carries, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns against what Dave said. That's a little disrespectful, the New York Jets. I think they played more like the New England Patriots of all. They had what can only be
Tonopah Valley. The only time they were stopped in that game was by the halftime clock. They scored a touchdown, and every time they touched the ball, I've never seen anything like it.
So Wilcox did lose 65-20, which was very disappointing for them, and we thought they were going to put up a good fight, especially after the Arizona Lutheran game. And here's the thing about it, Dave. I don't think Wilcox played necessarily a bad football game.
Not even a little bit.
The team they were going against was so crisp that even though someone was covered, they were strong enough to make the catches. He was Caldwell Sanchez.
Sir. All I know is his first name was Sir. Very well deserved.
Who, after 2 weeks, leads the entire state in passing yards with over 800. He had over 600 total yards in this game and 5 total touchdowns. He was a menace as well. Ryan Russell in the chat says, "Yo."
Yeah, we're not here for him. We're here for the Cowboys. But
there were a lot of bright spots because they didn't play they didn't play bad. They didn't play like a team that should have been beat 65-20. It was just there. They were in position to make the plays. Uncharacteristic. Landon Ward had a big game, not just offensively, but defensively as well. Their number one receiver finished with only 3 catches for 50 yards, and that's who Ward was on the entire time. The Warden really locking people up right there.
Yeah, that's why we call him the Warden. He locks you up.
Ryan Russell in the chat says Colts, baby. Also, Christian Teeters had a sack. He made a huge play, which could have shifted the game because that sack also came with the fumble, but the officials didn't call it. And the officials don't win or lose games.
Well, Tonopah Valley was probably going to win that game no matter what. That was such a huge play for the momentum of that game. That strip sack fumble, that was an obvious fumble that would have led to a Wilcox touchdown and given them back the lead. But kind of just destroyed the momentum, and Tonopah Valley just went nuts. But yeah, Wilcox, like you said, the Warden played great in coverage. Caleb Cook had a good game defensively.
Yep.
Yeah, Teeters a very good game. The boys played well. It just wasn't. They're playing what has looked like the greatest 2A football team of all time.
Well,
so don't hang your heads because you're not playing them again.
Let's not even say team. I'm willing to bet that's probably the greatest high school player to come out of Arizona. Sorry, Spencer Rattler. But, yeah, that kid was unbelievable to watch. And, again, great defensive scheme. It's just,
They had 3 or 4 players in the backfield on that kid, and they couldn't get him down. He was ridiculous. Kids, you played a great game. Keep your heads held high. Again, you're not going to play them again. So what a litmus test.
The
for
high
Wilcox.
school version of Patrick Mahomes, and he was literally just tossing the ball.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch. It was a good game. And again, for much of the first half, Wilcox was in it, and then a couple sucker punches happened, and then that was it. You could see them kind of hang their heads. They didn't expect the onslaught of offense that they got. And so maybe mentally played a little bit of a part in what happened in the first half. The second half, they came out a little better and played a lot harder. And that's what I appreciated is they fought to the very end.
I think it's only going to make them better going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we are live, folks. If Dave didn't mention it, I can't remember. So go ahead and jump in the chat like Ryan Russell, our boy.
Yeah, interactive. We like to talk to people. So jump in with us on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. By the way, do you see anybody teeing off back there? Get out there and play some golf.
So we're going to go ahead and jump over, before we finish our two-way coverage, to the Canyon Athletic Association, where we have two teams in Sierra Vista now. And unfortunately, both teams did lose. It was not the greatest of week for Cochise County football. A lot of losses, and especially against teams that we thought we might have had a shot against. So American, the ALA,
American Leadership
Academy, that's right. They started off their high school football campaign, and they lost to Skyline Gila River 44-0, no stats or anything like that. They will be playing on the 5th this week against the Madison High Preps, and that will be at home. So go ahead and go out and support the boys. And our state champions from Canyon Athletic last year, the Marine Academy Eagles, jumped up 2 divisions. If you remember, we had Logan Seeley and Isaac Merrill on.
If I remember.
And they were playing the state champions from the top division that they are in now, Heritage Academy, and they had lost 44-6. So that's a little unfortunate. It's kind of an eye-opener for the Marine Academy Eagles. And we know Coach Jalen Champton's going to get it corrected. Those boys have championship medal. This might have just been a little bit of a sucker punch when you watch the game, and they just weren't ready for the level of competition. But I guarantee you, week 2, when they take on, Tahona Odom, and I believe that's at Tahona Odom, they're going to be ready for that one.
Oh, yeah, again, they challenged themselves. They moved up 2 divisions, and that's a different level of football, and they found that out. Same thing like the Wilcox game. It's only going to make you stronger because now you know what you're up against every week.
I'm a big, big proponent of front-loading the schedule, and that would make your section games feel a little bit easier towards the end when you take on the best.
But so Marine, again, Coach Champton's going to get it figured out, but now you know what you're up against, so you need to bring it. It ain't going to get handed to you every week, and you got to earn this. You want to move up 2 divisions like that. And the ALA, first game, first year for their program, there's going to be some learning.
You remember Marine went winless and then undefeated, and this is just the first year to figure everything out and come together as a team. There's no expectations your first year. Go out, have some fun, score some points, get some big stops, make some plays, and build for the future.
The most important thing, have some fun.
Have some
game.
Fun.
Have some fun.
Ryan Russell back in the chat says, losing builds character. Losing is learning. Winning is teaching. We'll go over to our 1A in the for our why am I blanking right now? Arizona.
What?
AIA.
Thank you.
Losing my mind. It's been a long weekend, let me tell you.
I'm motivated today, boys. I'm ready.
Well, we'll start with Valley Union did have a break, and we do expect to see Dylan Mitchell back next week against, I believe it's Baba Kivery. And that's how you say it.
Baba Kivery.
But I call it Baba Kivari, so I think that's a lot better. I'm going to keep calling him that. Just know I know how to say it. But the St. David Tigers continue their impressive streak as they beat Ray 70-22 to move to 2-0 on the season. Ray falls to 1-1.
I hope that somehow, some way, we get our eyes on St. David because all accounts they are ridiculously electrified. And they're scoring points in droves. I hope we get to see St. David at some point this year because they look exciting.
Oh, you know who else is exciting, Dave? Freshman quarterback. That's freshman. He's going to be here for 4 years. Vincent Sicarello, 5 for 5, 110 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Efficiency,
for sure.
Model of efficiency.
The team carried 14 times for 176 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
Chase Pacheco, Luke Haymore, Cedar Haney.
Was there a defense on the other side?
They all scored touchdowns. Yeah, no kidding, right? Oh, Raquel Wilson's in the chat says, way to go, Tigers. We play Baba. Okay, so the Tigers play Baba Kivery.
Thank you.
I thought they already played. Oh, they played Baba Kivery. They play Ray next week. That's right. Thank you, Raquel Wilson in the chat. Chicken scratch riding, David. Never gets old, right?
I tell you, it looks like a doctor.
I'm look worse than that. We're going to talk about Howard Corman, Atticus Del Mil, got him right this time, and Top Pacheco all contributed pancakes in this ball game. Thank you for keeping that stat.
I love they put that stat out there in St. David. I love it.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Grayson Merrill again continues his dominance at the wide receiver position. 3 catches, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Roman Tilton also adding a touchdown through the air.
Yeah, St. David looks like world beaters right now. Can't wait to see more of it.
Defensively, we have Cedar Haney led everyone with 9 tackles. 5 of them were in the backfield. Also contributed a sack. You know who else contributed a sack? Top Pacheco.
You beat me to it. I was like, I know who it was.
And Keston Richardson, and the other Richardson. I mean, he's got big shoes to fill, but he's doing big things. And St. David making his own mark.
The Richardson
also got a
train
sack.
just keeps rolling in St. David. Year after year. We got another one. We got another one.
So
we haven't forgot about you, Coy. It's been a couple years.
Coy Richardson, man. On his mission, actually, I befriended a few people in St. David. I think I saw some pictures of Coy on his mission. And they do great things over there in St. David out of high school. Let me tell you.
Love that community.
So we're going to go over to finish up our two-way. We talked about Wilcox. We're going to talk a little bit about the Tombstone Yellow Jackets. And color me surprised on this one, Dave. The Tombstone Yellow Jackets scored 6 points in a 7-6 loss. Yep. I did not see that coming. Raquel Wilson says he's in South Africa. Coy Richardson, of course.
Oh, he got one of the good ones.
Absolutely. And so they host San Carlos at home, the Braves, who are 1-1. But this is what I would say a little bit of a shocker that Tombstone is 0-1 and they only put 6 points on the board.
Took the word right out of my mouth. When you have superstar quarterback DJ Elias, 6 points. When we heard that on Friday night, again, it was an eye-opener. 6 points. So something happened that day. Tombstone Yellow Jackets, I'm positive, are going to figure this thing out because 6 points is so uncharacteristic of them. Even if they lose, they score a lot more than that. I mean, I know that they lose their big wide receiver, but that doesn't account for that number. So we're going to see what's going on with Tombstone going forward.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, it was a little bit, and this goes against my logic. I mean, they did lose Weichelt, but the line played well. The defense played well. They lost Calvin Smith.
7.
Everyone was there. The one person it looks like they had a little bit of trouble replacing.
Yeah, the Matrix, yeah.
Malachi Keller.
Yeah, but again, losing that big receiver doesn't account for that number. So, I mean, maybe it's an off game for Tombstone. You know, maybe they were overlooking the opponent. Not sure. But we know those kids pretty well, and they're going to fix this.
I mean, we talked to – I was talking to Bisbee coach Todd Hammett. We see him all the time at the golf course. And he was saying how impressed he was with Malachi Keller and that you would throw it up in the triple coverage and he'd just jump it. He's a state champion high jumper as well. So
athlete extraordinaire.
He's tall and he can high jump. But anyway, let's get over to some of the stats. DJ Elias went 9 of 17 for 117 yards. He ran for 41 yards and a touchdown. Jemiah Wallace, who's back on the team, 15 carries for 82 yards. Jabari Thomas led the team in receiving, 2 catches, 44 yards. Offensively, the numbers are there. It just looks like they couldn't punch it into the end zone.
Yeah, a very uncharacteristic, low-scoring game. Sounds like the run defense was really good against the Tombstone Yellow Jackets. You said 15 for 80. So,
which is not bad. I mean,
it's not bad. It's not bad. But it's not the high clip you're looking for.
It's almost 5 a carry.
But, yeah, so Tombstone ran into a wall or had a bad day or something.
And again, situational football. When you get in the red zone, you have to convert. So maybe they were just moving the ball, just not at the right time.
And they also lost their kicker as well, so they might have taken field goals out of play.
Oh, you're not wrong about that.
He was also the field goal kicker
Malachi
as well.
Keller could hit for 50 yards like it was no one's business.
Yeah, so
that's a lot of points.
So maybe they can't kick field goals anymore, which was a big strength of Tombstone's last year. Was the ability to get 3 points when you can't get 6.
Finish up these stats, and we'll get to the comments in the chat. Talk about defense. Andrew Gracemore led the team with 6 tackles. Thomas Smith added a sack. And that one. Then we have Jabari Thomas had an interception, and Caden Bidgood had a sack and a forced fumble. So it was all there for Tombstone. Again, just couldn't get the points on the board.
You hold them to 7, you expect the victory.
Especially with that quarterback.
Yeah, the defense played. So if the defense keeps playing like that, I promise the offense will catch up.
We have Adrian Borquez in the chat, says, it's pick week, Dave. He always talks to Dave, not Paul. Don't know what I did to make him upset, but it is what it is. No, I'm kidding. He said the town is buzzing. The town's buzzing. Just know that we're buzzing over here as well. Ryan Russell in the chat says the season's just getting started. You got to dust off them cobwebs and get to work. Truer words have never been spoken. I just think with the Tombstone, how many 4-year, 3-year starters they have on that team now that are seniors, we kind of, and that's probably our fault, had a little bit more lofty expectations coming out of the gate.
Well, for all you seniors out there for Tombstone, it was a rough game. Don't let it happen again. Run the table.
Absolutely. And you got a chance, San Carlos at home, who's 1-1 on the season. You get in front of that rowdy Tombstone crowd and make it happen. Oh, yeah, Tombstone is the rowdiest of the football environments in Cochise County. Shout out to Emilio Mendez is in the chat. He didn't say anything, but he's watching.
And Adrian Borges, is it Copper Pit Classic Week? I had no idea.
So that's going to bring us over to the Benson Bobcats. Benson looking very strong in a loss. Max Preps has Phoenix Christian. There's no moral victories. There is for us, though. We're media. We can take moral victories out of everything.
I was going to go to Benson and hug every one of you kids if you pulled off that win against my most hated team, Phoenix Christian. You played a great game.
The Benson Bobcats now fall to 1-1. They lost 22-20 to Phoenix Christian, right
They
down to
were
the
in
wire.
field goal range in the end of that game in the fourth quarter. They chose not to kick the field goal. Maybe they don't have the special teams ability.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, and they were inside the 20 at the end of that game, and the Benson Bobcats chose not to kick the field goal to go for it. Again, maybe they have special teams issues, but they were that close. They were inside the 20-yard line, down 2 at the end of that game. They were that close.
Doesn't get any easier for the Bobcats as they go to a Morenci team who was 1-1, all the way out Morenci, just a couple hour
Very
road
intelligent
trip.
team.
no surprise there.
Smart players.
We did get the week 1 stats for Wilcox and Benson. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough time to talk about it. But in this game, Dawson Judd threw for 91 yards and a touchdown and an interception, I do believe. Flint Davis carried. Flint Davis, the week 1, had 100, I believe it was 80 yards carrying. He contributed 84 this time off 13 carries. Also contributed 2 sacks in the backfield. David Harris led the team with 2 catches for 70 yards. And then here's the exciting part, because we're talking about linemen. Buchanan Garrett with 3 pancake blocks on the game. Again, folks, if you don't know what a pancake is, that's when you take your body, put it on someone else's body, and pancake him back first to the turf.
Like an E-Honda sumo flop. Bang!
Right?
On their back.
And our favorite boy, Case Williams, had a pancake block as well. Only one. That guy is huge.
Case Williams is a big kid.
We can talk about Andrew Workman led the team in tackles. This is going to be a lot of tackles from the Benson Bobcats. Their defense was on the field quite a bit. Andrew Workman had 16 tackles, 2 in the backfield. Harley Van Warmer, 15 tackles. Samuel Martin, new to the love off Cool FM for the Benson Bobcats, 14 tackles, 3 in the backfield. Then Buchanan Garrett with those 3 pancakes also had 13 tackles, 2 in the backfield. Dawson Judd and Rowley Evans also contributing to interceptions. So again, where it's just a little bit too late kind of thing going on there, because it was 22-6 for the longest time, and then Benson came back and almost got that dub.
All I heard was defense. The defense sounds like it's there. Same thing with Tombstone. Your defense sounds like you got this under control. You held them scoreless. It was 22-6, and it ended up 22-20, which means you had 5-6 straight possessions where they didn't score. So the offense will catch up. Dawson Judd, first-year quarterback, it will catch up for the Benson Bobcats.
Junior as well.
Yeah, junior, yeah. And so keep playing defense like that. The offense will catch up. You can start winning a lot of these games. You could have won that one.
We said
I
before,
hate the expression. I can say that.
we said before this game this was going to be a measuring stick, and we're going to need all we need to know about the Benson Bobcats. And I'm super. Now this is, again, it's a loss, but it's one where, like you said, the way the game went 22-6, and they just kept fighting back and fighting back. After a season like they had last year, which is a complete down year for the Benson Bobcats, a team that's used to being in the state semifinals all the time, this was the type of game, the type of effort that's going to put them back on track.
Yeah, and again, they're playing a recruited school. We're a public school down here, so 22-20 is about as good of a loss as you're going to have against
And
Phoenix
they had
Christian.
a chance to win at the end. We do have a couple comments in the chat. Emilio Mendez in our chat. Dave, I'll give you one guess of what he just said.
Bulldogs. He said, let's go Pumas, baby.
He sure did. And then Ryan Russell back in the chat. Love the comments from Ryan. Says, pancake with some syrup, baby. Absolutely. That's going to get us to our last 2A team and the only victorious 2A team on the weekend. Just mentioned them, the Bisbee Pumas.
I intentionally stayed away from these stats. I didn't want to know. I want to hear it from the big guy. But I know what the score was.
67-7 over Madison Highland Prep.
MHP means Madison Highland Prep.
And this is the same thing we talked about Benson. We're going to know everything we need to know about the Bisbee Pumas this week against the Douglas Bulldogs at home for the Copper Pick. Now let's get into some stats over the Madison Highland Prep
We're going to
game.
get into that game, but let's talk about this game first.
Sebastian Lopez, 12 of 22, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns, did throw an interception, ran also for 86 yards and a touchdown. So Sebastian Lopez continuing to get over 250 all-purpose yards, or total yards, sorry, all-purpose is not the passing yards, but total yards, and well on his way to trying to get that 2A State Player of the Year again.
Again, yeah, we've been watching him since he was a sophomore, so this is it. It's senior year, and they started off with a bang with 67 points.
Bryson Meyer carried the ball 12 times for 114 yards and 5 touchdowns on the game.
Big bombs, Bryson, heavy hitting. Boy, he needs a football nickname. Almost, you couldn't get the 10 yards to carry Bryson. But, yeah, that's a lot of touchdowns.
The Brydozer?
I don't know. I'll figure it out on Friday.
Yeah, Bryson Meyer is fun to watch in any sport.
The kid runs hard.
Let's
he
not
runs
forget,
hard.
number one rally car in his age bracket driver. So that
5
kid's
touchdowns.
talented.
Whew.
We're going to go over to the receivers. Miles Schuler caught 3 passes, leading receiver on the Bisbee Pumas for 78 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, contributed 2 sacks as well. Hunter Wright, 3 catches, 50 yards for 2 touchdowns as well. And getting into also, I believe the leading catcher was Michael Coronado at 6 for 40.
6 for 40? Okay.
Getting in the defense, this is where it gets a little bit exciting. We had 18 tackles for losses. Fabian Hernandez, just a junior, 11 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 6 sacks on the game.
Oh, you beautiful little boy. I love you, Fabian. I knew you were going to bring it this year. I knew. We had conversations with people that, I don't know if Fabian's going to have the biggest year, and we've been hanging out with the kid. He's only gotten bigger. He's only gotten stronger. We knew this was coming.
We never doubted Fabian Hernandez.
6
Real,
sacks.
recognized real, you know what I'm saying?
6 sacks.
Emilio Diaz-Lopez also contributed a sack, as well as Spencer Anthony. Jackson Alvarez had 2 tackles in the backfield and an interception.
Oh, Jackson.
And Chris Sartor, or Santor, who knows. Good job, Paul, with that writing. Also contributed an interception as well. So it was all clicking for the Bisbee Pumas. The most exciting thing for me was those 18 tackles for losses. It means they're getting in the backfield and getting the tackles in the right spot.
That's not the Bisbee defense that we are accustomed to seeing. That is nasty. I don't know if Madison Island Prep is that bad or them boys are that good, but that is a disgusting stat line for all those kids.
Let's get over to the Douglas Bulldogs, the opponents for the Bisbee Pumas in the Copper Pick Classic. They actually currently hold the Copper Pick as they won it last year in a game we were at. That stadium was packed. I don't know how Warren's going to hold this crowd.
I don't know. They're going to have to bring in extra stands for this because there was 5,000 people in Douglas last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Bisbee, Warren Ballpark is the most beautiful place in southern Arizona for sports, but they're going to have to bring in extra stands.
Gorgeous
they're going to have to let
stadium.
people drive their cars over. I don't know what they're going to do because that place, there's going to be people falling off the stands. It's going to be so packed.
You talk about Douglas. They have a great field. They have this huge bleacher section, and they have a press box for us. That's why we love Douglas so much. Well, in the press box,
love that press box.
You turn around, you get to see that baseball field, which, with the foliage past center field and all that stuff. It just looks so gorgeous out there. So
yeah, but this year we are back in Bisbee, Arizona, and it's nice to get to know the community because I know there's some other people that are going to want to come down to cover this game. And Courtney Borges, the athletic director, reached out to us. Where do you guys want to sit again? Where's your spot?
Very left, Courtney.
Yeah, go in the
Next
booth.
to the outlet.
You go in the booth. You make a right. It's all the way down at the
Make
end.
a left.
No, when you walk in the booth.
I see what you're saying.
And you'll see our names written there on the booth. It says Paul and Dave.
I think you said it wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, so here's that. We Douglas. We have a couple sad things to say about them. They lost to ALA Ironwood 52-21 in a game they were in. And then I guess the third quarter got away. I saw Ironwood put up 20 points in that third quarter, and Douglas was blanketed. Not what we expected from them. And Dave, the Douglas Bulldogs did not report their stats.
Why say, how'd my kid do? How'd the quarterback do? But we got nothing.
Ivan Aguilera.
Douglas, we've talked about this. We talked about this last year. I need you to put your stats into Max Prep so we can give your kids some shine. We don't have now. I got to go find the coaches before the Copper Pick Classic and know who did what. So we got a little more info for what is the biggest game in the country coming on Friday.
You're not wrong about that.
The 154th edition of the Copper Pick Classic, first played in 1906. Woo! Let's go.
Not the best color man in the game for nothing.
Are we going to do that game?
Well, you're play-by-play on the broadcast, but whatever. Here we go.
Oh, let's do it. Can't wait.
So that's going to take us to what everyone is waiting for, the detailed insight to the Buena Colts as they got their season started. We had Michael Luan, we had Scrappy Bonilla on our show before the season started.
Young men.
They said they're going to go undefeated. Dave, they start off 1-0 as they beat whoever they played. I didn't write it down. 68-19. They now host Ironwood Ridge in their home opener this Friday. Ironwood Ridge, of course, 1-0 as well. So the first test for the Buena Colts.
Test. That's another victim. On their, like I said, those boys are confident. They know what they got. Yeah, they know what they got. And I know that you were very, very looking forward to Nash Moore and how he was going to do this year. I know you did tell me what he did this week. Let's talk about that.
Sandy Williams in the chat says they beat Betty Fairfax, and Ryan Russell says, that's right, baby. Thank you, Sandy, for that. Gabriel Rodriguez also said Buena beat Betty Fairfax.
And
More
it's
like
just another victim. It doesn't matter what the names are because Buena's just going to beat them all down to
Betty
death.
Fair victim is what it was. So, yeah, I told you about Nash Moore before the season. I got to see him on the Marine Field, Coach Hampton Memorial Field. And I told you he looked bigger, he looked stronger, he looked like a quarterback that was ready to take that leap. And Nash Moore threw 7 of 8, Tecmo Super Bowl style, for 231 yards and 5 touchdowns. He completed 7 passes. 5 of them went in the end zone.
I'm doing my base math over there. That's also 33 yards a completion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was there a defense out there?
It's tough when you got the Buena Colts.
And with that running game, if Nash Moore's doing that with that running, I'll see you with the ring, boys. Go get one of these.
With that running game, they were led, of course, by Scrappy Bonilla and Michael Luan. Scrappy carried 10 times for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Michael Luan added 8 carries for 71 yards and a touchdown as well. We also had Charlie Price making big moves in the run game, but not just the run game, Davis. He had finished with 90 total yards and a touchdown on the game as well.
Love to see it, boys. That's over 10 yards a carry for Scrappy, just under 10 yards a carry for Luan. Tutters for everybody. They said double digits for each. On their way.
Well, Dave, we talked about Matrix being gone and who's going to fill that receiver spot. Matrix, the only person last year in Cochise County that was close to 1,000 yards, as he finished with over 900 receiving yards. We have Grayson Merrill on track for the St. David Tigers. But also, Jaden Thomas, 3 catches for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Just go routes? Like, I'll see you in the end zone? What is that?
Well, this is exactly
That's Randy Moss. That's literally what Randy Moss did against the Lions.
That's exactly what Randy Moss did, except he scored all 3 times. That was come on, Jaden. You can't get in the end zone that last time. What is that?
Get it together.
Just ridiculous numbers from the Colts offense, and we knew the defense was going to be there. And this is a heck of a sign for the offense that, again, Bonilla and Luan had sold us on preseason, and they let us know how good they were going to be. This is exactly how they want to play. They're going to pound the rock. They're going to do a play action, and Thomas is going to be over the top. Nash Moore is going to hit him. Nash Moore is going to flick it like Joe Burrow and do that little spin, and then with one hand, I mean, it's coming up all spades right now for the Buena Colts.
Again, like Kevin Hart, I'm going to need to get like clones of me so I can also be at the Buena game on Friday to take a look at this, because I have to go commentate the Copper Pit Classic, but I want to watch the Buena game, so I'm going to have to figure out how to do this.
Buena will be broadcast live on Cool FM, I do believe, all season.
We're going to have an extra phone so we can kind of watch Buena while we're watching the Copper Pit.
I don't think there's going to be any time to watch Buena at that Copper Pit. We'll just have to do it on the ride home.
It's going to be madness.
We have a whole 30-minute ride on the ride home. We could see what's going on there.
Folks, if you've ever want to go to a football game in your life, get down to Bisbee early this week, Friday, September 6th. The game's going to start at 7. I'd be there at 6. Go watch the Copper Pit Classic. It is going to be insane.
It was electric in Douglas. It's going to be electric in Bisbee. It's just one of those games you don't want to miss.
They started Copper Pit Classic. They started doing T-shirts a month before this game. Like Bisbee's ready. Douglas is ready. People are, let's go.
How'd you get on Bisbee? We're still on Buena. How'd you get on Bisbee?
I'm going to talk about the Copper Pit Classic.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we talked.
That's
we
why
didn't
I
talk
said
about
I want
the
to watch
defense.
the Buena game.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's how it happened. It's like, wait a minute. We also have, I spelled it wrong, but Aiden Fergose, or Oso, Elias Dyson. It's not Elias. I talked to his father. We were pronouncing that wrong all year last year.
Well, now I feel stupid.
And then Gabriel also, I spelled the last name wrong. I'm not even going to try it. Had a touchdown in this game. Sean Bookman defensively for the Buena Colts. 3 tackles in the backfield, 7 total. We also had our boy Trenton Williams, along with Quentin Williams from St. David, or Top Pacheco from No, it was Quentin Williams. They were our 2
D tackles
for all Cochisian team. Zachary Barrett also had a sack.
How do you do?
Trent Williams?
Yeah.
1 sack. He had a sack.
Okay.
Tariq Howard had an interception, and then Sean Bookman completing his box score padding with an interception as well. And that is the Buena Colts going all the way up to Betty Fairfax and coming down with a win 68-19. That's 4 hours away, by the way. That's jet lag.
That is a heck of a bus ride home, I'll bet you. I'll bet you that music was pumping and they're woo. They're thinking about this 2 boys sitting right here going, nah, watch. We got something for you. We got something for you this year in Buena Colt country.
We didn't doubt you for a second, Buena keep that momentum up. It all matters in sections, but right now the Buena Colts are on fire. And that's going to lead us to our new segment. I got offensive and defensive players of the week. Defensively, we mentioned his name. No surprise here. Fabian Hernandez, 11 tackles and 6 sacks this week.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, Fabian.
Ryan Russell in the chat says all the way up, talking about Buena. Then again, offensive player of the week. We have co-offensive players of the week. Could have had 3 of them the way Bryson Meyer played, but I'm sure Bryson Meyer has 5 touchdowns. I'm sure Bryson Meyer is going to have plenty of games like that right now, and maybe this next one. I wrote down, this is before Wilcox had put their official stats in, so we're going to give one of them to Landon Ward, the Warden from Wilcox, 220 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns against the New York Jets. Joseph Coronado.
The kid is averaging 18-plus yards a carry so far this year. The Warden is going nuts.
And the offensive player of the week I had written down, Nashmore, 7 of 8, 231 yards and 5 touchdowns.
How do you not?
So with that, Dave, every team has played. Let's go ahead and re-rank the power rankings for our Cochise County football team.
Oh, like you re-rank this. You rank them.
I know. I'm the one that.
And I react to them.
You know, you do so much that gets egg in your face that I thought I'd go ahead and do one for you. That way you could be the one laughing at me. So, of course, we'd start off with ALA from Sierra Vista where they
Hey, ALA, by the way, we all live in Sierra Vista. You could bring us a hat.
Yeah. No kidding, right?
It took us about a year and a half to get a Valley Union hat, so hopefully you could do it quicker than that.
It kills me to do this. Our state champion, Marine Academy Eagles, will be next, followed by our Valley Union Blue Devils, who are going to bounce back this week.
As a bye week, I mean, it's hard. You can't go up the rankings on a bye week.
No,
it's
absolutely not. And this is where I had the Benson Bobcats last time. But they really impressed me.
Yeah.
This is going to be, who falls out of the top 5? It's got to be Tombstone.
I know who it sadly has to be.
It has to be Tombstone. This is just not expected. But
I'm not worried about Superstar. DJ is going to be just fine. They're going to figure this out.
Well, okay, so we talked about Buena's jet lag. Tombstone had the same travel day, and they were up there an extra day because they didn't get to play on Thursday, so a lot happened.
That's right. That's say they happened to Wilcox little
There's reasons or excuses to be made, but unfortunately they did lose the game, so we have to put them there, and that's just what happens. Next, they were my number 2 team going into this week, the Wilcox Cowboys.
It's not their fault they played the Dolphins.
No kidding, right?
Tournament Valley, by the way, congratulations on your ring.
That's going to bring us to our top 5. And in our top 5 for the first time, the Benson Bobcats.
Well, or even after a loss, you give Phoenix Christian the business like that, shut them out in the second half, you move up the rankings.
Just kidding. They're number 4, the Douglas Bulldogs.
Oh, sneaky. Douglas is going to be remember that one.
Well, we're going to find it. Here's the thing. We're going to find out a lot about these teams coming up next. That's going to bring us number 3, the Bisbee Pumas. And our second best team in Cochise County is going to be the St. David Tigers. They have considerably impressed me enough to say that they're number 2. However, that is a cursed spot on my rankings because number 2 has fallen every single time. And, of course, rounding out our number 1 team, the Buena Colts.
Well, the top 3, I mean, it's scoring 60 points a click, and Bisbee.
Wilcox is top 5, I decided. It's not their fault they played Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
Oh, so they moved you down. He moved you down again.
To 6.
Ooh.
Why don't you just talk positively and always stop trying to make this a negative thing?
No, not a negative thing. I like to give bulletin board material. So, like you did with Benson and before the season started, I like to give bulletin board material. You're coming in on Friday. Remember it. Write it down. Take a picture.
That's such a jump for a loss. No, everything's good. Everything's good. I probably should prepare these before we do this. Anyway, that's going to do it for our high school coverage. Dave, do you have anything for me?
I do. Just like high school did last week, it's time. The NFL season has arrived. We start this week with his team against the unflappable Lamar Jackson on Thursday Night Football.
Unless it's playoffs.
So, so we have 3 questions. Quizzy for Pizzy.
3-question quizzy for Pizzy.
So
it's a stupid name, but it's a stupid nickname, too. Go ahead, Dave.
So every year we have one of these. These are he doesn't know what I'm going to ask him, so it may take him a moment.
Yeah, that's why I always look like a bumbling idiot. But go ahead.
So every year we have one of these. One of the teams in our 8 divisions this year in the NFL is going to go from worst to first. Who is that going to be?
The cop-out answer would be the Jets. No, but the Patriots were last year, weren't they? Another cop-out answer would be the Chargers. But the Chargers also have the Chiefs in their division. The Chargers did finish in last place last year, so they have a very, very favorable last place schedule.
Ah, that is a good point.
I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to believe in Kyler Murray and say the Arizona Cardinals take over the San Francisco 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Los Angeles Rams, all playoff teams, and win that division. It's a lie. It's not going to happen. But there's my pick. Book it.
That was it. If I had to pick one, I'm going with the Cardinals.
I'm
really? The biggest Seahawks fan. Healthy Kyler Murray is terrifying. No, let's not forget, under that idiot Cliff Kingsbury, they were 13-2 at one point. They were
Cliff
this
Kingsbury.
close. And then all of a sudden everything fell off, the wheels fell off for the Cardinals. But 2.5 years ago, the Arizona Cardinals were about to win the Super Bowl.
So here's what I'm most excited for about the Cardinals besides Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison's connection. It has nothing to do with personnel, except for the fact that last year it was a fire sale. And you came on here, you did a diatribe about sell the team because all they were doing was trying to tank for Caleb Williams or whatever it was. That didn't happen, and the team actually was very competitive behind Jonathan Gannon. Mm-hmm. So Jonathan Gannon with another year and a fully healthy Kyler Murray, who knows what the future holds? I'm not going to put money on it, but if you're going to tell me a team has the potential to go worst to first, it's going to be the Cardinals.
Love it. All right, so there's a lot of people, question number 2, there's a lot of people this year that believe, and no easy answer on this one, that believe that we may have our first non-quarterback MVP in the NFL this year. So if you had to go out on a limb and say which non-quarterback is going to be, and you can't see Christian McCaffrey, who's going to win the MVP?
So here's the thing. You would assume it'd be an edge rusher because they impact the game so much. We're talking about a Myles Garrett. Micah Parsons will not be that. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. People have to show up in the big games, in the biggest spots. It's what we call their MVP moment.
I didn't think you were going to go defense. Myles Garrett is a very good answer.
I would go defense, but this generation of sports writers is enamored with the wide receiver position, and rightfully so. It's been the most used position. It's been the most it's ever been used in the history of the NFL. Now, like we have people getting 170 targets, which means 10 times a game they're actually targeting a wide receiver, which is a lot more than used to be. What it used to be. So if I was to pick an MVP, I would go with Justin Jefferson. I'm not going to go with Tyreek Hill, although he's got the potential to do it. You also have Jaden Waddle and Tua Tagovailoa on the team, and, of course, Achane and Mostert in that offense. But if Justin Jefferson has a season of 1,700 yards, 15 touchdowns with Sam Darnold as his quarterback, Justin Jefferson's the MVP.
Okay, all right.
Ooh, Synergy Home Care. Sierra Vista's in the chat. They say, great show. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Synergy Home Care, for everything you do for us.
All right, and last but not least, I will be there on Thursday to annoy him. I'm going to bring in the grandkids with me. We're going to make it a party. Ravens and Chiefs, Thursday night. Dumbest question I've ever asked me in my life. What do you got?
So, of course, I have the Chiefs winning. You've watched football with me. It never looks like I think the Chiefs are going to win when I'm watching football about the Chiefs. Stephen Ward in the chat says, love the show, guys. Stephen, you need to go back and watch what we said about Landon Ward. That kid had a game, for sure. So here's the thing, though. And was it first things first has the must win? Is it a must win game? And the response to that is the Chiefs can't lose because the Chiefs lost to the Lions last year, won the Super Bowl. It is what it is. This is a must win game for the Ravens. So if the Ravens don't win, it's going to be another instance where Patrick Mahomes has Lamar Jackson's number. He's only lost to him once, and that was because Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled in field goal range. Thank you, Clyde. I mean, he's going through some stuff right now, PTSD. I don't want to say anything bad about him. But I would definitely pick the Chiefs. I think this is the best offense they've had since Tyreek Hill's been gone, and that defense only lost L'Jarius Sneed, which is a big deal because their corners behind don't look up to speed as L'Jarius Sneed did. But that's all we lost on the defense.
Last year, the Baltimore Ravens, everybody remembers, were beating the Niners by 30, were beating the Lions by 30. They were just destroying the NFL. They have done nothing but get better. This is the Lamar Jackson revenge tour, and it starts with the Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore by 3.
Not even close. Did you not hear me when he's like 1-5 or 1-4 against Patrick Mahomes?
Oh well, yeah, it has to turn it around sometime. And I'm not going to be in there rooting for the Baltimore Ravens in your house, but
I mean,
you know,
you're not invited to my house now after that
I'm
one.
a Lamar Jackson super fan.
Let's talk about it really now.
Lamar Jackson is absolutely one of my favorite players in the NFL. I love watching that guy play. So he's got to get this right and beat the Chiefs once in his life. Come on, Lamar.
Well, you didn't mention Derrick Henry. You said they got better.
Well, yeah, obviously.
The offense got better. The defense lost their defensive coordinator and a few pieces, so they're a little bit lacking on defense. We'll see. Chiefs are generally the most prepared team coming into a season because they do play their starters preseason and they do have more padded practices and training camp. But
Andy Reid gets in trouble for that.
Yeah, he does. But the players want it. That's how you get better. Anyway, Ryan Russell in the chat says Ravens need to pull this off. I shouldn't have read that out loud. Let's delete, comment, and block Ryan Russell from my show ever again. But that's going to do it for our NFL coverage. That's going to bring us to everyone's favorite portion of the show. He's ranting. He's raving. It's what we call Dave, and it's time for Dave's diatribe. Dave, take it away.
Well, I have a little surprise for you. I don't have a diatribe today.
Aww.
I have something a little different.
Can I stop you there? That's our ratings, by the way. You have to. This is going to be 2 weeks in a row where you're nice. I'm kidding.
All right,
Go,
next
Dave.
week. Give me a week of NFL. I promise I'll have something to be angry about next week. But this is going to be a little different today. Before we get out of here, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all of our fans, everybody that has supported us. A couple of years ago, we were given this platform, and what we wanted to, what we wanted to use that platform for was not just Buena, not just Sierra Vista, but all of Cochise County, and really showcase all of the student athletes that we have. We didn't get paid to do this. We didn't do it for the clicks and likes. We did it for the kids and for this community that we really care so much about. We're sports guys. We've grown up watching ESPN and Fox Sports and now you have the internet and there's all these shows. And, we've been watching these things our whole life, and there's so many times where everybody just wants to get content out there, and it's just a couple people regurgitating off a screen, and we wanted to really put in that extra effort to do the research, to get to know these kids, to get to know their stories, to get to know their families. And so, we really wanted to put in that extra effort, to really give the best available version of this because these kids deserve it. So again, I don't want to do this off the top of my head, but I had to write this down because I really wanted to kind of get this out. The thing is with sports shows, we didn't want these kids to become statistics and just numbers and be like, well, blank did blank. And to really get to know them, why Bryson Meyer runs for 5 touchdowns, because the kid is angry and he runs hard, and instead of just looking at a number on a piece of paper. So I want to say thank you for embracing us. Thank you for welcoming us. Thank you for sponsoring us when we need you to. Thank you, the parents, the coaches, the athletic directors, the kids, the businesses. Thank you, all of us, for letting us into your homes and for getting to be a part of Cochise County sports. We really want to thank you for that. Before I get out of here, again, we do, as I always like to say, especially in a neutral game, we call a fair fight. We really, really do. We have the Copper Pit Classic coming up this week. Douglas, I love you. You know that. I'm going to call a fair fight.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's go, Pumas! See you on Friday.
You're yelling at a golf course, brother. You're yelling at a golf course. Now, I can't even respond because you walked off. We do have a couple comments if you want to give away from behind the camera. Ryan Russell in the chat says, we love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan also says it's so hard for the kids, and thank you for showcasing their talent. Absolutely. I think we do a great job of that. I loved your diatribe, Dave, especially at Wilcox was a big eye-opener for us. I think how much we just did this. We always try to stay away from people, and then we messaged the AD, and he roped us off an area, and Bisbee's doing that same thing for the Copper Pit Classic. And it's kind of like, it's surreal when you think about how we were trying to stay out of everyone's way, and now everyone wants us to be a part of it. And it's very, very humbling is the word. Thank you so much. But with that being said, as Dave just disrupted everyone playing at the Sierra Vista Golf Center at Pueblo Del Sol, we would like to thank them and this gorgeous course for giving us this beautiful backdrop to do our show every week. And again, folks, that driving range is going to be amazing when they get done with it. And also thank you to Synergy Home Care, providing non-medical home care for people who struggle with activities of daily living. Give them a call at 520-685-1035. And for Dave Davies, the most unbiased commentator of all time, I'm Paul Corder. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at the Copper Pit.